running of Moab, Muslim Outreach Anti-Violence, that provides a lot of services to the community, free of cost, basically. So the community can take advantage of these services and also contribute to it, inshallah.
What day of the week is that on?
It is on, no?
What day is that on Saturday
It
or
is
Sunday?
a Sunday. It's a Sunday. Sunday evening, so you come and have a Sunday dinner with the family. It's easy to come out on Sunday. You can have a Sunday dinner with the family, and you still get home on time to take a good sleep for next day. Because we're finishing at 8 o'clock. We wrap up by 8 o'clock. We wrap up. So from 3 in the evening until 8. It's a very it's a family program, so you can bring the family out and really enjoy it. It's a very good program. Everyone that comes to the program tends to enjoy it. We have tickets available for whoever wants to collect a ticket. You collect the tickets. I'm sure you can pay at the door, but it's good to have your ticket available. And so we can do it. Anyone who wants to take a flyer or so and spread the word, I'll be very happy for that, inshallah. We still on Surah Hud, Surah 11. We start at reach ayah 52 in our last session, so inshallah today we continue with ayah 53. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قالوا يا هود ما جئتنا ببينة وما نحن بتاركي آلهتنا عن قولك وما نحن لك بمؤمنين إن نقول لأراك بعض آلهتنا بسوء قال إني أشهد الله واشهدوا أني بريء مما تشركون من دون الله فكيدوني جميعا ثم لا تنظرون إني توكلت على الله ربي وربكم ما من دابة إلا هو آخذ بناصيتها إن ربي على صراط مستقيم. Translation reads They said, O who no evidence have you brought to us, and we shall not leave our gods for your sake, and we are not believers in you. All that we say is that some of our gods have seized you with an evil. He said, I call Allah to witness, and bear you witness that I am free from that which you ascribe as partners in worship to Allah. So plot against me, all of you, and give me no respite. I put my trust in Allah, my Lord and your Lord. There is not a moving, living creature, but He has the grasp of its forelock. Verily, my Lord is on the straight path. Here in the story of Hud, as continues, after Hud presented his message, he spoke to his people and invited them to the worship of Allah. Invited them to Tawheed. And they gave up false deities. And their response, right, the response of the people of Noah before him, they said, Ya Hud, O Hud, oh, you have not given us any evidence or proof. You have not given us bayina. You have not given us any evidence or proof as to who you are, being the prophet, as you said you're a prophet. وَمَا نَحْنُ بِتَارِكِ آلِهَتِنَا عَنْ قَوْلِهِ. And we will not just give up our God because you say so. We will not give up our gods, worshiping our gods just because of your word, your command to do so. And so, the disbelievers, this was the argument that they had with Hud alayhi salatu wassalam. We have no proof that you are who you say you are. You claim you are a prophet or messenger from Almighty God Allah, and you produce no evidence to support such. You have not given us no evidence to support such, that you are prophet of Allah. So since you not give us any evidence or show us how or how you've been sent from Allah, we will not take your word that you're a prophet. Now we will take your word on anything that you say concerning our gods. We will not take your words, so we will not give up and abandon our gods. We will not give up or abandon worshiping our gods just because you say so. And we will not do it. And the justification, it says, مَا نَحْنُ لَكَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. We do not believe in you, nor are we believers in you. Now, if we don't believe you, what you say, and we are not believers in you, so we don't accept or follow your leader. So we don't believe what you say, and we're not going to follow what you say. And this is the position or the argument that these people, disbelievers put forward. And this reality, the reality is that this skepticism and doubt is the usual response of disbelievers. The usual response that comes from disbelievers when you present them with the truth. There's a skepticism and a doubt. They don't believe it, right? Because it is for them it is a major thing. You try to change that. So the first response is the skepticism. No, we don't believe you. You don't accept what you say. And so this is why they always demand that you bring some proof. And then when you bring proof, then arrogance set in. After the proof is covered, then the arrogance set in and they become set in their ways. So they always demanding some sort of special miracle or sign to confirm what you're saying. But then very often when the prophet presents that special miracle or sign, they still turn it back because of the arrogance. Because of the arrogance. So the skepticism and doubt that they show to the messenger, to the prophets, is not because they don't know them. They know the prophets and the messengers very well because the prophet and messenger come from among them. Allah always raise a prophet from among the people that speaks their language. We always raise a messenger from among the people. So the messenger come and prophets came from among the people themselves. So they know that. They grew up among them, so they know that. They know their character. They know their family. They know who that. They know the. So that is not the problem that they reject them, that because we don't know them. They reject them because of the arrogance of their position. We've been doing this all along, and all of a sudden you're trying to make us change? What's wrong with you? That's their position. They don't want to change from what they're doing. They're adamant in their position. And so this adamant statute. وَمَا نَحْنُ بِتَارِكِ آلِهَتِنَا. We will never give up our worship of our God and call it just because you say so. There's arrogance to it. Right? And the we've been doing this all along. All of a sudden you come tell us that we should stop worshiping these gods. We've been worshiping these gods. You know these are the gods. What's wrong with you? They know where we're going to give it up. That is their position. Always in this that skepticism and evil. And then they justify their position. It says, in Nakulu, we only say, إِلَعْتَرَاكَ بَعْدُ آلِهَتِنَا بِالسُّوءِ. They said, all we can say is that some of our gods afflicted you with some kind of problem. You talking crazy because our gods, you went against our gods and talked negatively and bad about them, they afflict you. So you just talking out of craziness out their head because of what our gods did to you. Their reasoning. That's their reasoning that they are saying. We believe that our gods cause some harm to you. We believe that our gods cause some harm to you. And this really is a very serious point when you realize that the disbelievers always presume that their gods have power, that these idols of wood and stone and stuff that they make with their hands, they're always assigning some sort of power to them. They think that they got power. And this is not the sign of intelligence. It's as though the intelligence, when you adopt shirk, is as though your intelligence leaves you. Your common sense and intelligence leaves you. So you assign power to them. You make this thing and then you think they have power. If you had to make it and you had to defend it, then you have more power than that. And this is what Ibrahim ﷺ was trying to prove to them. What nonsense are you talking about these gods? He break them all out. You know? And see, you know, how come, you know, who, you know, my father had to be alihatina. Who did this to our gods? Who did this? Who break our gods up like this? You know? And I mean, so you think that this would be, you know, they says, you know, we heard a young man by the name of Ibrahim. What do you call him, Ibrahim? A young man by the name of Ibrahim, he'd been talking about it with these idols, with the gods. He'd been talking about it with them. They said, fuck them, bring him and let people see. They brought Ibrahim. Ibrahim, أَفَعَلْتَ هَذَا بِآلِهَتِنَا? أَفَعَلْتَ هَذَا بِآلِهَتِنَا يَا Ibrahim? Did you do this to our gods? Ibrahim said, okay. First, al-kabiruhum, ask the big one. You see him there? You got ask him. I mean, he is trying to force these people to be intelligent. Forcing the people to be intelligent. Okay, I mean, even if you get befuddled or be muddled a little bit, at least think about it. Ask him. He says, listen, but you know that they can't speak. I don't think they can. They can't speak. They can't figure out what you worshiping them. They can't defend themselves. They can't. But you know, Nukus Arusim, they reverted back into their own state and says, you know, Wansuru Alihatam, you need to help your God. Have you got to help your God? Then you know, come, what kind of God is that? You got to come help your God.
Help with that.
Huh?
Help with that.
Yeah, it's serious. This thinking, it is as though the individual who worship others besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's as though they have no sense, as though they shirk sort of like befogs their mind to an extent that the disbeliever, I mean, it causes them to think that these false deities has power and they can do this and they can do that, you know, so they're threatening Hud alayhi salatu wasalam, like the people of Ibrahim, threatening the Prophet with their gods. They're threatening them with their God. This is the thing they did Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They threaten them with their gods. Like if they, they have signed that kind of power to them in their heads, in their minds. That means that something is wrong there. They're not thinking straight. That they assign this kind of power to them and they're threatening them. Threatening the power of them. So this way Hud alayhi salatu responded to them saying, Inni ushidullah. You want evidence? I bring Allah as a witness. I bring Allah as a witness. If you want proof and evidence, then know that I bring Allah as a witness to my prophet, that my message is true. I bring Allah as a witness, and you don't want a bigger evidence than that. You don't, because there's no evidence greater or bigger than, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. For even the universe itself is a witness. The universe itself is a witness and bears testimony to the oneness of Allah and to His greatness, and shows up the falsehood of what you do. The universe itself bears testimony. So I bring Allah as a witness that your gods have nothing, that your gods are nothing. And so he says, "Washhadu." So you can bear witness. Bear witness that and this one, the first bear is Allah bear as a witness, and they bear witness to two different things altogether. They're two different things altogether. That Allah is a witness to the reality, and He's telling us, you bear witness that I'm not afraid of nothing that you do. And you ain't afraid of you, your God. I'm not afraid of you. Bear witness, I am not afraid. This He saying. No, you bear witness that I am not afraid of nothing that you, not all your gods and all that stuff to do that. I'm not afraid of that. Because see, the reality is that the believer, the true believer, looks at things in a realistic fashion. Look at it from the point of view of reality, and look at reality as it is. They take it as it is. Right? They're not clouded in the reality because they've embraced truth. Right? And when you embrace truth, it means that you embrace reality, because reality is truth. Truth is reality. So once you embrace truth, you embrace reality. So you see things as they are and not as you want to see them. Right? The disbeliever, however, on the other side, because he does not embrace truth, he embraces falsehood, he only sees things as he perceives them. Right? So it's as though he has on shades that are, he got on dark shades that is cloudy. Hijab. Yes. He has on dark shades and they are all cloudy. So, I mean, what he sees, his perception of what he sees changes. So it's not as it is, he sees it only as he wants to see it. And this is the most unfortunate thing. As I said, a person, when he begins to believe his own lies, he's unfortunate. I mean, when you begin to believe your own rhetoric, then you're in trouble. Because you make up stuff, and then when you start to believe what you make up, I mean, you might be fooling other people, but when you start to believe it yourself, you're in trouble. It's like the drug dealer. He takes the drugs and he's going to sell to people. Okay, he's doing it, but the moment he starts using it himself, he's in trouble. You understand? So it's the same analogy. You can't go that way. Otherwise you are in trouble. And this is the situation here that he's pointing out. So that you assign this great power to these idols. And you think I should be afraid of them. Huh? You think I should be afraid of them. Right? I'm not afraid of them. He's telling them. I am not afraid of them. What can they do to me? Huh? What can they do to me? As Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he said to his people when they threatened him with their God, he said, I'm not afraid of what you associate with Allah. You know? La akhafu ma ashraktum billah. I'm not, all that stuff that you associate with Allah, those false gods, I'm not afraid of them. Right? And then he presents as an argument, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. He was such a logical person. He was such a logical person. He always provided logical arguments to the people. He always tested the ability to think. Always. Every time his argument is always a challenge to the intellect. Always. He said, in Surah 6, Ayah 81, right? You can do 80 and 81, but I don't do 81. He said, وَكَيْفَ أَخَافُ مَا أَشْرَكْتُمْ. How can I fear that which you have associated with Allah of false deities? Why or how can I fear that which you have associated with Allah of false deities? وَلَا تَخَافُونَ أَنَّكُمْ أَشْرَكْتُمْ بِاللَّهِ مَا لَمْ يُنَزِّلْ بِهِ عَلَيْكُمْ سُلْطَانًا. But you don't fear that you have associated partners with Allah for which He has not given you no order to do so. Huh? So you associate, you make these idols, and you expect me to fear them, and you don't fear that Allah that you don't add faults to Allah. You know? He says, Ayyul fariqayn. He says, فَأَيُّ الْفَرِيقَيْنِ أَحَقُّ بِالْأَمْنِ. Who of these two parties, you or me, who you think has a better chance of safety and security? That Allah securing and safe, keeping them safe. You who associate partners with Allah, or I who worship Allah alone? Who you think has? In kuntum ta'lamun. If only you knew what's for this. Tell me, what do you think? I mean, it is an argument. That's a very solid argument. It's a very solid argument. You associate partners with Allah. You make these idols and associate them with Allah. Say they got powers and them, add them to Allah. And you expect me to fear them. When I know that Allah doesn't have no partners, I know that what you're doing is false. I know that what you're doing is false. You expect me to fear the falsehood that you invent, and you don't fear Allah that you invent falsehood against Him. Who you think got a better chance of being safe? Who? You or me? I mean, it's a solid argument, and all Ibrahim's arguments were like this. Very solid challenge to the intellect of his people. But his people always revert back into the stupidity. They always revert back into the stupidity because their heart is full of shirk. Shirk robs the intellect. Shirk robs the person's ability to think and see things as they are. This is why shirk is a terrible thing. Right? In the shirk, the dhulm al-azim. Shirk is one of the greatest forms of oppression, because it's not just oppression of others, it's an oppression of yourself. When you oppress others is wrong, but when you oppress yourself, it's a very terrible thing. It's like the individual. When you stingy to others is one thing, but when you stingy to yourself, it's serious stuff. it is the level, I mean, the level of argument that is presented by Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, by the prophets, the level of arguments are always here. Never there, always there. And you know, I mean, and only the intelligent people can catch it. The ones who ain't intelligent don't catch it. The ones who are not intelligent will not catch it. Only the ones who are intelligent. And when we talk about the intelligence, here, when we talk about the intelligent one, very often I like to define or I think what I'm talking about. Right? Because many people think that when you talk about the intelligent one, that intelligent one means the one who got a lot of degrees. Right? And that is not who we're talking about, the intelligent ones. Because I've met a whole lot of people with PhDs who are fools. Absolute fools. I mean, I'm totally disappointed in them. I mean, I met one, once I had a discussion with a PhD. This man had a PhD in African history. I tried to talk to him, you know, try to have a discussion with him. And he was so daft. I mean, I was utterly disappointed. They brought him to discuss with me, and I can't have a discussion. This level of discussion is so out of place. Man, you got a PhD. I mean, I had to say to him, I said to him, you know, with all due respect to your PhD, man, I'm totally disappointed, man. You have a discussion about, you know, I would discuss real stuff, and you stuck somewhere in a corner, you know, of your mind with whatever nonsense you stuff inside of it. You know, so I'm not going to talk about intelligence. I'm talking about the intelligent, the truly intelligent person is the one who is able to use the faculties of common sense and reasoning that Almighty God, Allah, has given to every individual. He's able to use that faculty to process all the information that is presented to him and arrive at a pragmatic conclusion. They're able to arrive at a realistic, pragmatic conclusion, one that is in accordance with reality itself. Because if you can absorb all this information, this all facts of from the phenomena around you, you can absorb all that and then arrive at a conclusion that is not in accordance with reality, means that you are not an intelligent person. It means you're not an intelligent person. If anybody can look at this whole universe and everything and then come and say, look, you happen all by itself. That's not intelligence. That's not a demonstration of intelligence. Because if you can look at this phenomena and say, all this phenomena, it all happened by itself. There is no creator. So all that we see, all this something came from nothing. So, and no one did that. It happened all by itself. So nothing created something. Huh? Nothing created something. It's not an intelligent thing. How can nothing create something? Nothing has no existence in itself. Nothing is only a concept in our minds. That's why you put a zero or a point. Right? Because it's only a concept in our mind. It is not a reality. It's nothing real. That's why we put, that's the point. We put a zero, zero. And that whole concept, you know, it starts a progression. It starts a progression. That's why when Muslim mathematicians come up and they use a zero and zero, it starts with a growth, a progression. Because someone starts it, it goes. Once you start it, it goes. But if you don't start it, it can't happen. It can't happen because nothing cannot produce something. Nothing cannot produce something. It is not possible. And anyone who thinks like that, something is wrong with their mind. Something is wrong with their minds. And many of the people who say that, many of them say, they say not because they don't know that they're wrong, but they're arrogant in themselves. That's all. I will be different to you in regards to what you say, even if I'm wrong. Like Bertrand, I think Bertrand Russell says, you know, God, I see you everywhere, but I don't believe in you. I mean, arrogance, man. Yeah, I think that was a statement of Bertrand Russell. You know, the great British philosopher. You know, I mean, how you, that's something else. And I think which one of my next one of them says, you know, we have developed, you know, or science has developed to a point that we have pushed God out of his universe. We don't need him.
Stephen Hawkins.
Hawkins, right? And that's what, this is the kind of nonsensical statements that they make on these supposedly intelligent people.
Imam said that we came to a conclusion that there is a higher power that controls the mechanism of the universe, but we do not want to call it God.
They make such nonsensical statements, man. I mean, it's just a part of arrogance. Those who know better and should know better. Because, you know, this is why we say that, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave everybody a degree of common sense. So people should act according to their common sense. But people don't, because common sense is not always common to everyone. You got it, but they know how to use it. And so they're always wrong. And this is one of the things that shirk does to the individual. You got a challenge out there. You know, and this was a profound argument of Ibrahim al-Adham. كيف أخاف ما أشركتم وما تخافون أنكم أشركتم بالله ما لم ينزل فأي الفريقين أحق بالأمن. I mean, who you think? It is a really serious argument. The arguments put forward by them. You know, in order, I am functioning according to the dictates, according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered me to function or commanded me to function. And you functioning according to your own ideas and thinking. Who you think should be more guided? You or me? Right? Who you think is more guided? You or me? Right? Because you're functioning based on ignorance. I'm functioning based on knowledge. Because falsehood has no reality outside of the mind of the individual who believes in it. Falsehood has no reality outside of the mind of the individual who believes in it. You understand? Truth has a reality on its own. You understand? It has a reality on its own because it has evidence to back it up. Truth has a reality of its own. Falsehood doesn't. Falsehood doesn't. And so the individual who embraces falsehood is like, you know, it's like living in a dream world, a world of fantasy. It's like living in a world of fantasy. He wishes and he hopes it to be like that, but it ain't like that. But he's comfortable with it. And that's unfortunate when you become comfortable with fantasy over reality. It's unfortunate when a person comes comfortable with fantasy over reality. And so, you know, because you begin to start thinking that all this stuff really got power, you begin to see power from it too.
Yeah.
So they actually believe that these guys got some power, they could do something And they're threatening food, like they're threatening the cross with these idols of wood and stone. This is why, he said them straight up, Fakiduni. Plot all against me, all of Jami and all of you get together. You all your gods never will get together and plot against me and come at me with everything you got.
Yeah.
I ain't afraid, man. I got this is the reality of faith, of Iman. Yes, there's the reality of Iman. You know, his response is the response of a believer. Right? فَكِيدُونِي جَمِيعًا ثُمَّ لَا تُنْظِرُونَ. That is the response of faith, of yaqeen. Right? Because of his grasp on reality. Because of his grasp on reality, he can make that, I fear nothing from you or your gods, so you can plot against me as much as you want. I ain't got no problem.
Allah.
I ain't got no problem. So such a strong challenge, right? Ordeal can only come from the heart of a true believer. Such a challenge, ordeal, can only come from the true heart of a believer. Ibrahim as-salam challenged them. Challenged them, Rabbi Ladhi Khawsis Samawat, my Lord is the one who created heaven and earth. Rabbi Ladhi Yuhyi wa Yumeet, Ibrahim responded. Rabbi Ladhi Yuhyi, my Lord is the one who gives life and causes death. Nimruz, what you talking about? I got that power too. I got that power. Bring that one from the dungeon. Right? You are free to go. Take your father and kill him. You see, I got power. And so, with his demonstration of that closed-minded understanding of reality, Ibrahim realized he was dealing with an idiot.
Exactly.
Ibrahim realized he was dealing with an idiot who was arrogant in his ignorance. Who was arrogant in his ignorance. He said, Inna Allah ya'ti bi-shamsi min al-mashriq. Okay, you got problem. My Lord, bring the sun from the east. Fa'ti biha min al-maghrib. Let me see you bring it from the west. Total humiliation. Total humiliation. He got so crazy, he said, build a fire and put him in it. He lost his complete reason, everything, like, just burn him up. That's how mad he became. Ibrahim just totally humiliated him. And he ain't touch him yet. Not even once Ibrahim touches him. And he's totally humiliated. And so he said, burn him up. Ibrahim said, do what you want to do. You do whatever you want to do. Ibrahim, that challenge, that fearlessness can only come from the heart of a true believer. Ibrahim is not afraid. Just say Hud here, Prophet Hud. He's not afraid. He's not afraid, and the true believer is not afraid of falsehood, because falsehood just begins to come like that. It appears big, it appears threatening, but that's all that is hot air. It's hot air. Inna kayd ash-shaytani kana da'ifan. And the believer knows that. The believer knows that. So the believer is not threatened or does not feel threatened by falsehood. But falsehood feels threatened by truth.
Knocks his brains out.
Yes, falsehood is threatened by truth. Ja al-haq. وَزَحَقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. Truth has come and falsehood is vanquished. It is the nature of falsehood to be vanquished in the presence of truth. It is the nature of falsehood to be vanquished in the presence of truth. It's like light and darkness. Darkness can be scary. Right? Darkness can be scary. All you need to do is light a candle and you see what happens. Darkness flees. Just a light dispels darkness. It's like ignorance. Ignorance is all encompassing. All you need to do is give it better knowledge and it's gone. This is where this is what we understand, how we understand reality. This is how we understand reality. And so Hud alayhi salatu wasalam then informed them of his source of strength and confidence. Why I am confident? What you can work? Nothing. I'm scared of nothing. Why? Inni tawakkaltu ala Allah. Inni tawakkaltu ala Allah. Rabbi wa Rabbukum. I put my trust and dependence on Allah. I put my trust and dependence on Allah. This is reality. I put my trust and dependence on the one who has all power, the one who knows everything, the one who has control of everything. That is the source of my power, of my confidence, of my strength. It comes from there. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and from this we understand that tawakkul ala Allah, or putting one trust and dependence of Allah, is the key to the source of strength for anyone. That is the source of strength for the believer. Putting one's trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى الْحَيِّ الَّذِي لَا يَمُوتُ. Put your trust and dependence on the one who is ever living and never dies. Put your trust and dependence on... You want more evidence than that? You want more proof than that? Put your trust and dependence on the ever-living who never dies. Why would you put your trust on something who can't help you, who can't harm you, who can't benefit you, and who can only cause more harm to you than benefit? Why you would put your trust in, rather than put your trust in one who has power over everything? This is the reality of it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ الْحُكْمُ إِلَّا لِلَّهِ. In that last ayah we covered was 25. Surah 25, ayah 58. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ الْحُكْمُ إِلَّا لِلَّهِ. Verily the hukum, the command, the order, is for Allah, the decree is for Allah alone, belongs to Allah. إِنَّ الْحُكْمُ إِلَّا لِلَّهِ. Verily the command, the order, the decrees lies with Allah alone. Alayhi tawakkaltu. I put my trust and dependence on Him because of this. وَعَلَيْهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. So let those who would trust put their trust on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Put their trust in Him. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Whoever put their trust and dependence on Allah, Allah suffices them. Allah suffices them. Allah is the best person to put your affairs in His hands. You put your affairs in the hands of Allah, you don't worry. You have the concern, and we see this. It's demonstrated throughout the history with the prophets. When they tell the people of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, and they're telling him, look, Pharaoh, look his army, look at this, what they're going to be, and they're all distraught. And Musa is calm. Because he don't put his trust in Allah. He got Allah behind him. He knows that. He follows what Allah says. Say, Kalla, by no means, inna ma'iya Rabbi. My Lord is with me. Don't worry about that. I'm good. So Yahdini, he's going to guide me over that. Don't worry. Allah can get us out of this stuff. I'm good. Don't worry. Allah can get us out of this. As the Prophet is sitting with Abu Bakr in the cave. Abu Bakr says, if you look at the people, the Quraysh people, he said, if they look down to their feet like this, they would have seen us in the cave there. All they had to do was bend down and look, and they would have see us in the cave. That's, that's what you said. Because we could see their feet. So all they needed is to bend down like this, and they would have seen us. So Abu Bakr is terrified. He's terrified. The Prophet is cool and calm as a cucumber. Cool and calm. He said, Ya Abu Bakr, what do you think? I'm the one when there are two and Allah becomes the third of them. Abu Bakr, la tahzan. Don't be sad, Abu Bakr. Inna Allah ma'ak. Really, Allah is with us. That's a whole new concept. Ma'iyatullah is a whole different concept. That's a lecture by itself. You can't But just show the scope of confidence when you put your trust in Allah. That scope of confidence. I mean, you can speak with a confidence that no person else can do when you have that level of dependence on Allah. When your iman is at that level that you can depend on, that you don't fear for nothing. Look at anyone. You don't fear for anyone, anything, because you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is bigger and greater than anyone or anything. And this is what Hud alayhi salatu wasalam emphasized and brought out in this point. He says, Ma min dabba, Ma min dabba, إلا هو آخذ بناصيتها ما من دابة إلا هو آخذ بناصيتها. That is a proverb, right? A proverb for saying that Allah has total control and ownership of every creature. He directs it. He not only owns it, but he directs it and everything in his hands. Nothing. He's holding it by his forelock. There is not a living creature. Everything that walks on the earth, every living creature, is a dabba. He says there's not one dabba, not one living creature, except Allah sees it by its forelock. Now he has total control, because when you grab it by its forelock, you're in control of it. It can't go nowhere. Right? When I don't know if you ever had to do it around the board.
It's like the rings.
You grab this horns up front. You can't do anything. You flip it like that. You can flip it just like that, or a cow. You grab it by its horns, and you have total control of it. If you're strong enough, you grab it by its horns, and you just twist its neck, and it flips right down on the ground. Anyway, I don't know. You had the experience to deal with animals. Anyone who have this experience in dealing with animals, I grew up in a village. So.
I've seen it. You've eaten them.
You got to eat them, but we grew up around.
Also like the reins on
Yes,
the horse.
yes.
When you control the horse.
Yes, so when you control the reins. But once you grab it, you have control over it. You can just like that, right? Because so Allah says that this is a proverb for that to show you have Allah's total control over every creature. Total control. That is the extent of his power. This is why I put my trust in him, Lord, or who to say. I put my trust in him because he has total control over everything and everyone, including you. Including you. He has total control, total power. And he's not just my Lord, but he's your Lord too. He not only own me, but he own you too. Rabbi, I mean, he own me, Rabbokam, and he own you. So you under his control also. So why should I fear you? I gotta fear him, not you. Now, that is the clarity of faith. That's the clarity of Iman. That's the clarity of truth. That we see things as they are and not as people perceive them. Because we tend to perceive things that we got power. We got some sort of control. We got some, he got some power. Power belongs to Allah. Exaltation belongs to Allah, not to you. And this is, people get confused with that. It's Allah who got the power. You ain't got nothing because Allah give you a little bit of authority in something. You don't have no power. So Nimrod didn't understand that. Ibrahim ﷺ is trying to bring that reality to him, and he could not understand it, he could not comprehend it, because he's so befuddled by, his mind is so befuddled by his own ineptitude, that and ignorance, and arrogance. So he thinks they can do something. So Ibrahim said, bring it on. You do what you want to do. Do it. Whatever you want to do, don't be easy. Come in as hard as you can. And Ibrahim, and Nimrod got his soldiers to dig a ditch and fill it with fire. Dig a ditch, fill it with fire, and then throw Ibrahim inside. Just like the believers that Prophet mentioned, of the group of the believers that happened before time. Right? Story of the ditch. That's how we look at the people of the ditch. Dig a ditch, put them in. But the believers are never afraid. So Ibrahim ﷺ was not even afraid of the fire. Because he knows that his Lord is the Lord of the fire. So Ibrahim was not afraid of the fire, so when once they sing in the fire, like I was, because maybe our man is not, so be back down. Be back down. You can put it in fire, back down. Not Ibrahim, you're backing down. Because he knows that his master, his owner, his Lord is also the Lord of that fire.
Allahu Akbar.
He's the Lord of that fire. So he's not backing down. He's not afraid of the fire. He's afraid of the creator of the fire. He's afraid of the Lord of the fire. See, when you become, as they say, when you become, right? When anything becomes, things become a source of fear to you. When things become a source of fear to you, then nothing is afraid of you. But when Allah, right, is your source of fear, it's only from Allah, then everything becomes, you becomes a source of fear to everything else. Okay? You become a source of fear to everyone else and everything. So Allah here, he feared Allah. He feared the owner of the fire. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just said to the fire, Ya Naru, O fire, Kuni bardan wa salaman ala Ibrahim. Kuni, be cool. Wa salam, and safe. Cool and safe. So in other words, don't get too cold to harm him. Be cool and safe on Ibrahim. Because it's my servant. Don't mess with him. Fire is scared. Fire is scared. The fire is so scared, the fire changes the whole nature. The fire is so scared from its owner, from its master, from Allah, that the fire changed its nature, because the nature of fire is to burn, to consume. But it could not change its own nature. Because the nature of the fire had to change. It had to change. And it did. Because of the command of its Lord. Submitted. Submitted. And it's changed its nature. So it was not harmful to Ibrahim alayhi salam. This kind of confidence and certitude comes from the heart of Iman. This is why why Iman is so important. This is why it's so important. Iman makes the insignificant person powerful. Make them powerful. Make them a source of power, energy. As Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu told the people. He says, look, we were nothing, we were nobodies in the desert. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us a prophet, sent us the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. With Islam, and Islam elevated us. Islam elevated us. So our source of power is not our clothing, it is our deen. It is our deen. So Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he marched into Jerusalem to receive the keys to the city in his muddy clothes and shoes. Because it is not our clothes and shoes that make us great. It is our faith in Allah subhanahu. To understand that. This reality. This reality of deen. Right? This is reality of deen. And so we as believers in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is where we learn from this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring these stories of the prophets of the past. It was not just tasleem for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, comfort for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it's lessons for us to learn. Lessons for us to learn from them and gain strength and power from them. And the story of Prophet Hud, as it continues in this, here he emphasizes these fundamental principles. Inni tawakkaltu ala Allah, Rabbi wa Rabbukum, ma min dabbatin illa huwa aqidun bi nasiyatiha. Inna Rabbi ala siratin mustaqim. Indeed, my Lord, His way is always straight. His way is always straight. He's always straight in His judgment. He's always straight in his decision. He's always straight in His decree. He has the power, so He always keeps it straight. And I'm on that. This is what I'm on. I'm on that. I'm not afraid of anything that you have. This is reality. It's when you know when you tawakkal Allah, fahuwa hasbuh. That's what Prophet would always make this dua. You know, that always every day Prophet made dua. You know, hasbi Allahu la ilaha illa huwa alayhi tawakkaltu wa huwa rabbul arshil azim. Every day the Prophet made that dua. Every day. 7 times you make it. 7 times you recite it in the morning, And he says, you make that dua 7 times in the morning, Allah protect you for the rest of the day. You make it 7 times in the evening, Allah protects you right through the night. Hasbi Allah la ilaha illa huwa alayhi tawakkaltu wa huwa rabbul arshil azim. And a powerful dua. That's a powerful dua. Powerful dua. We all should be learning and practicing. And it's every day. Prophet never stepped out of his house. Bismillah tawakkaltu. Allah. I begin, step out in the name of Allah. I step out, putting my dependence and trust on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is what Hud points out to them. You do whatever you want. This is my source of power. Allah is my source of power. And when we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we know who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, then we have that confidence. We walk with a confidence. You don't like me, it's okay. You don't like my deen, it's okay. You don't, and I'm okay with that. Because I'm not afraid of you. Hasbi Allah. Hasbi Allah. That's how we proceed in this dunya. That's how we have to live in this dunya. That's the kind of power Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to the believer in this dunya. And if we really live with that, believers will be the most powerful people. But we have these doubts. A doubt makes you weak. Doubt incapacitates you. Doubt incapacitates you. That is why we cannot have doubt. We cannot have not even the slightest form of doubt. Because the slightest form of doubt is a form of weakness. As a weakness. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us strong.
Amen.
And our guide us.
Amen.
Inshallah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله من سائر المسلمين إن شاء الله we continue in the next session إن شاء الله سبحانك وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك.
Assalamu alaikum. One question about there are some that when they ask Allah, they say I want to rephrase my words. They ask Allah, and then they bring their prophet's name, like say they ask Allah with the love of the prophet, something like that. Is it permitted? Like they ask, I wanna.
Yeah, I'm not quite.
Yeah,
I get the
you get the question.
Yeah, the question is that it's like the Sufis.
Yes.
They use some of the imams, like,
Yeah.
as a way
Yeah.
or as a
Yeah, but
Sufi.
this ones they ask Allah, but and then they say, oh Allah, give me this because of your prophet, because things like that.
Tawassul by the Prophet. To the Prophet.
Okay, something like that.
You know, there's certain tawassul. There's a whole subject of that. Tawassul is a whole subject by itself. There's tawassul that is lawful and there's tawassul that is haram. But inshallah,
Inshallah.
that's a subject. We get into it. You go for another half an hour. You're already
Jazakallah khair.
So, but there is halal and there is haram in
Yeah.
tawassul.
You have to know the boundary.
I once was given a class long time ago to children.
So, Sheikh Nasr Din Albani, I think he wrote a nice treatise on tawassul.
Okay.
And Taymiyyah also wrote a nice treatise on tawassul.
Jazakallah. I'll
It's
check.
a very nice.
Subhanallah, bihamdihi, subhanallah.
Both Nasruddin Albani, Rahimahullah, and Sheikh Taymiyyah. Both of them do a nice
And I was given the story about the Namrud and Ibrahim alayhi salam. And these were kids, mind you, not adults. One of the kids, he was laughing and he said he was an idiot. Not only that he's a kafir, but he's an idiot. So I wanted to see the view of the child. So I tell him, why you are saying that? He said, because if you have a little bit of intelligence, he would have said that we rotate our seats about bringing the sun to rise from the east and to sit in the west. So he said, if he rotate his seat, he will be able to say that the sun is coming from his east. And you get the idea? Like he changed the position of the seat. So that's a child.
Say it is right from
A
left.
child, he referred to the Nimrod, right? That he was an idiot. He didn't have any piece of intelligence. Far away from believing of Allah. But he said if you have a bit of intelligence, he would have said, he rotate his seat, right, and then the sun would rise from the opposite direction as he's sitting. But he was total idiot.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Subhanallah, subhanakallah, wa bihamdihi, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu